Hello, Yoga Moguls. This is a special edition call to address the situation on hand, which is the coronavirus. So today I'll be offering some ideas for you guys and what to do in the event of emergency that we're all facing throughout the entire world. And I'll share with you some of the things that we have done when the Hurricane Harvey hit Houston a couple of years ago, which, it's a different kind of emergency, but nevertheless, I'll share with you some of the things that we've done. And it really helped us, just stay afloat and pay our bills and generate some revenue. So this call is about very hands-on decisions that we all will need to make immediately and then in the days and weeks, possibly months to come. So let us start with a meditation because it's important for us to ground down and just connect to our intuition and our power, as well as the divine guidance that is always available to us at all times. So sit up tall, and if your legs are crossed, uncross your legs. And you can close your eyes. As a matter of fact, if you're not driving, close your eyes and exhale all the breath out of your lungs. And take a really deep, slow inhale. Fill up your lungs completely with breath. Exhale, relax your shoulders, relax your throat. Take another really deep inhale all the way down to the bottom of your belly. You can even touch your belly right now. Exhale, relax your belly. Now take a deep inhale into the backs of your eyes, the top and the back of your brain. Exhale, feel for relaxing the backs, the sides of your eyes. Feel for relaxing, that spot where your skull connects into your neck. When we take a deep breath and relax our brain, we get an opportunity to see new perspectives, new doors opening in front of us. When we relax our brains, when we relax our bodies, we get to connect to that divine guidance, that wisdom that is always available to us at all times. So breathe deeply. And right now, imagine light. And that light is our divine physician. And maybe you can see it in the form of a light. Maybe some of you will see it in the form of Jesus. Some of you may feel it in the form of this just ever-present force, this beauty, this power that is always with us at all times. So right now, take a deep breath and in your mind's eye, see the light. And the light represents the divine physician. Trusting your inner hearing, trusting your inner guidance. And I see this divine physician putting his hands, her hands, right on top of your head. And just feel the warmth, feel that light, that divine light entering your skull. Feel that divine light, that warmth fill up your head, relaxing all the muscles in your face, the top and the back of your brain. Feel this warm, feel good, healing, strengthening, cleansing light go all the way down to your jaw, your throat, relaxing your neck. Feel the light fill up your shoulders. Breathe that in. Breathe in the light. The light is going down to your chest, your heart, your lungs, the back of your heart, your shoulder blades. Take a deep breath in, filling up every single cell and particle and bone and blood vessel and artery in your body with this divine light of healing, of protection, of strength. Feel the light go down your arms to your elbows, forearms, wrists, all the way to your fingertips. Take a big breath in, Feel this divine healing, strengthening, cleansing light fill up your torso, your belly, your pelvis, all of your internal organs, the bottom of your pelvis, your colon, your vagina, your penis, going all the way down to your legs, your thighs, your knees, your shins, your calves, your ankles, all the way to the toes. Breathe that in. Take a huge breath in. Feel this light, divine light, the warmth fill up your whole body, healing your body, healing it, healing it, healing it, strengthening it, protecting it, guiding you in this time and always. The divine physician is always with you. You are always divinely guided. You're deeply loved. You're protected. Breathe that in. When you have faith, when you trust into that power bigger than you, when you trust that divine guidance, you'll always find your way to victory. Breathe that in. Okay, and open your eyes. This is kind of prayer / meditation that I've been starting my day with every day this last week, ever since this, coronavirus madness started. And it helps me ground down. It helps me get out of panic and stress and anxiety and fear. And it helps me connect to my wisest self. And it also, in my mind, I see it as connecting to that divine guidance, to that infinite intelligence that is always with us at all times. Okay. And this is especially important in this time because your community is looking to you as a leader. This is the time when you truly get to step up. And in this sense, we are like those first responders because we can help people ground down and step out of that fear and anxiety and worrying about the future. And I think it is important for us as light workers to fully embody that leadership role and to truly guide our community. And this is the time to do that. And we always start with ourselves. And this is why I'm sharing with you this prayer and meditation, because I find it very, very helpful. Okay, so let's take a deep breath. So, it's important to make the decisions now and, respond with power to whatever is happening in your community, whatever is happening in your town, in your city, and whatever is happening in the world, to be honest. It is also important to anticipate what's to come. And, what I see coming, and this is my personal opinion, that we'll most likely have to shut down our studios. And even if you're open right now, just know that, most likely you will need to close the doors in the coming days and weeks. And then the question is, what do you do from there? Because, it's going to affect your finances, and that's okay. Take a deep breath. When you lean on your wisest self, you'll always find the way. And today I'm going to share with you some of the ideas that my husband Roger, who's a lawyer, by the way, so he's also leaning on that legal knowledge and experience, and I generated together for you to add massive value and to support you in this time of chaos. And honestly, let's lean on each other, reach out with any questions so that we can exchange the ideas. And I'm going to share those ideas and those questions and answers in the days to come. So you'll most likely need to cancel all the classes and shut down your studios because on the one hand, obviously it's going to help the spread, stop or slow down the spread of coronavirus, but also like on the legal side, it probably makes sense, to just play it safe and shut down so that we're not spreading this virus. We at Blue Sky here in Taos, we're shutting down our retreat center today, even though we have lots of reservations coming in, even though there are people planning to come here for the spring break. This is just the decision that we decided to take in order to protect ourselves, in order to protect our children, our family, and in order to protect our community, our clients, our customers. So what happens in the event you close your studio? So because it's declared, the coronavirus situation has been declared a global pandemic, and because it's been declared a force majeure, unprecedented event that is outside of our control, it also triggers certain legal rights for you. And because it's a force majeure, I highly recommend asking for a rent abatement from your landlord. This is one of the most important things that you can start communicating with your landlord about, meaning because it's force majeure and because you have to close down your business. And most of your business is generated from people coming to your yoga classes, you can argue that force majeure, let's ask the landlord not to pay rent for at least 1 month. I mean, do your best, depending on the situation, right? Keep it open-ended that, no rent this month. And then possibly if the situation continues to be kind of out of control, a state of national emergency, pandemic, businesses closing down, possibly for 2-3 months down the road. And also, there is a possibility that if the landlord is not agreeing to that, is also negotiate pushing the rent down the road, meaning push the rent that is due today or whatever, April 1st, push that rent to 6 months from now. Does it make sense? You can always use the chat window to type your questions or your concerns, and I'll do my best to answer those questions and concerns today. So rate abatement in the in the situation of force majeure is important. I think it can be very, very helpful for you as a business owner. The next thing that I would do is offer online classes now. So there's a couple of ways to do that. Most of you are using Mindbody software, and Roger, my husband, did some research last night. There is a way to link up your Mindbody account with your, they call it media offerings or online classes. So in other words, when you record the videos or even when you play the videos live, you can link it up to your online system, meaning all of your AutoPay clients can access that without paying. And to just add value, I highly recommend that you set up a drop-in for those media classes as $5, which is very low, or maybe even open up as a donation only, link it up to their Mindbody online profiles. And that way you can start generating some funds and providing massive value to your AutoPay clients. And because it's linked up with Mindbody, the system will know who is AutoPay clients, who is purchasing drop-ins, or maybe there are people who will want to use their existing class passes to access those digital classes online. And you can set it up in such a way that if you're open this week, you can set up your phone even. You don't even have to have a really fancy camera. A lot of the classes, a lot of the content that I record, I just use my iPhone. I just set up my ring light, set up the light in such a way that it looks clear and bright, and you can record those videos. You can upload them to YouTube as unlisted videos so that you can charge money for that. You can set it up on YouTube as a free video, access to everybody. You can streamline those videos as Facebook and Instagram Live. But this is the time to start developing that content, recording that content now, and offering it to your community is a massive add-on. And I truly believe that if you link it up with Mindbody, you can continue generating at least some funds, and you can provide massive value for your AutoPay clients so they don't cancel. I would also communicate to your community in the form of like a newsletter and maybe even a Facebook and Instagram Live addressing your community, expressing your situation, meaning that, if people don't come to yoga, if people don't join your digital classes, if people start canceling your AutoPay membership, that means that you as a business owner, cannot pay your bills, you cannot pay your yoga teachers, and that's a real, threat to your business and ultimately to them as a community. Here is why I think that kind of open-hearted, authentic, deep from your soul communication can be helpful. A couple of years ago, when Houston was hit by the massive Hurricane Harvey, and we had to shut down our 7 studios, I think for a week, maybe in some areas a little bit longer, thank God. Remember, I've been always telling you, if you've been my Yoga Mogul member for months now, you know that I've been making this point from day one. Funnel everybody to your AutoPay membership. I truly believe that, if at least 50% of your membership base is AutoPay, that no matter what, if there is an emergency, if force majeure happens, no matter what, their credit card are charged and AutoPay is generating revenues. So during Hurricane Harvey, this is one thing that helped us cover up all of our overhead costs. I mean, I had $80,000 expense in rent only, not even taking into account, utilities, full-time pay for my employees, nothing like that. Just rent was $80,000. And thank God that we had that 67% of our membership revenues were coming from our AutoPay memberships. So again, this is just another point to stress the importance of your AutoPay membership. And, when you communicate to your community from your heart authentically, then you give people an opportunity to step up and help you. Right. So if you can just say, hey, please don't cancel your AutoPay memberships. And I don't know how you choose to word it, but please access these classes that I'm recording for you every single day, yoga classes, meditation classes, inspirational content, because if you're going to be in quarantine and be at home, social distancing, you'll have a lot of free time to generate that content. And you can say, this is important for me. Please help me stay in business. Please help me continue providing this massive value for you and help you live a happy, healthy, inspired life. Moreover, let's do yoga and meditation together so that we all can just ground down. I mean, we all know that, the way, the state of your inner state, the way you feel, you think in your mind affects your health, right? If you continue practicing yoga, if you do these meditation practices with me, if you focus on what is going well, on the positive, right, on your abundant blessings right here and now, I mean, the science has already proven that if you're in a good state internally, then your immune system is stronger. Then you can, even if you get the coronavirus, you can, get over it much quicker than if you're living in a state of fear, in a state of panic, freaking out every moment of your day, watching the news over and over again. So during Hurricane Harvey, what we did, Roger and I got on Facebook Live. We also recorded the video and sent it via newsletter addressing our community. And we said, look, a lot of our teachers, the only way they get paid, the only way they make a living is when they teach yoga. And I have suspicion that a lot of you, including you, depend on teaching yoga in that way. So when we cancel classes, when we close down the studio, that means our yoga teachers don't get paid. And you can even say transparently, my AutoPay, membership that you're paying every month, it's only covering my rent. That's it. I don't have extra funds to pay the teachers. So you can open it up. And this is what we did during Hurricane Harvey. We set up a fundraiser. So we set it up through Mind Body, and we, set it up as I don't remember, $20, $10 donation, $20 donation, $100 donation, and then open. The people could donate as much as they wanted to. And we generated several thousand, honestly, I don't remember how much, but we generated quite a bit of money to help those people who were teaching full time. And since we're closed for a week, they had a massive impact on their paycheck. So this is one thing that we did, and this is possibly something that you also can do if you feel comfortable doing that. And then on the other hand, so remember, one side of the communication to your community in general, to your customers, right? But it's also important for you to communicate with your team, with your teachers, with your employees. So simultaneously, we were communicating with our teachers and saying, hey, this is what's going on, right? A lot of times your teachers will say, oh, I don't feel comfortable coming to your studio in teaching because I don't want to contract coronavirus. In the Hurricane Harvey situation, people didn't want to come and teach because they didn't want to get strangled in the car and get flooded. So you may want to start that communication with your team if you haven't already. So in turn, this will triggered class cancellations if you haven't closed your studios yet. So I would suggest reducing your class schedule, canceling the classes that already get low attendance, and eventually if you decide to shut down the studio for a couple of days or maybe even several weeks, it's important to communicate that possibility to your team now, right? And then you also can give them an opportunity to teach online classes. And because your community, you're not the only person whose class they like to take. So you can develop that sense of camaraderie and community by helping also, giving a platform for your teachers to teach as well. So link it up to MindBody and give them an opportunity to step up and teach as well. So fundraiser may be helpful, and also in that communication, you have some data, who of your teachers, who rely on it most heavily. I hate to say that, but people who have a full-time job and teach yoga on the side, they probably are not going to be leaning on this kind of income as much as those people whose only source of income is teaching yoga. And you can open that communication up to your team and say, hey, who is volunteer? Like in the event that we generate a bunch of funds, who needs it the most? And then from there, you can start generating that information now. This is what we did during Hurricane Harvey. A lot of times, most of our teachers waved and they said, look, I'm okay. I don't need this money. Let's just send that money to the people who, like single moms who teach 20 yoga classes a week and whose only source of income is teaching yoga. So most of those funds were directed to those people who really needed that. Let's take a deep breath right now. Okay, so if you are not closing yet, and of course it will depend on what area you're in, right? If you are in like Seattle, of course you probably already shut down your studios, but like we're in Taos right now, right? It's a very small remote town, and even we are closing. But like if your area hasn't had coronavirus yet, you may still be open. So I would suggest reducing classes. Of course, you would go with no hugs, no kisses, right? You can just say, hey, you can reduce your class capacity by 50%. So social distancing, putting the mats out 3 feet away from each other. Of course, you would, deep clean your studio every single day, disinfecting every single surface, take the props out of the room. These kind of are maybe obvious, but I like to say them out loud anyway. And of course, even if you charge at least some money, right, offering classes, yoga meditation classes to your AutoPay members for free, linking up through MindBody, I also encourage you to host a few Facebook and Instagram live for yoga classes and meditations. And what it's doing, in turn, it's giving you an opportunity to provide massive value for your clients, right, for your community, but also it's also like how your optics, right, the way you show up in your community in this time of crisis is important. So the sooner you start the communication, the sooner you step up into that role of a leader of your community, the better it is. So instead of just like hiding or not addressing it, I like I sent out an email last week, it's important for you to communicate openly with your community. So when you offer Facebook and Instagram live classes as free classes on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, it's also like, in a way, it's, has potentially an opportunity for you to grow your following. It helps it's an opportunity for you to market your business, right? The way you show up in this time of crisis in a lot of ways will kind of dictate, who stays with you when this crisis is over. And maybe even new people who will decide, who will like the way you show up in this time of crisis, and then they'll decide to join your studio down the road. So this is pretty much all I have for you right now. Let's take a deep breath. To summarize, I just want to say, you as a leader, lean on your meditation practice, on your yoga practice. I've shared with you a couple of my favorite meditation practices via earlier email. If you don't feel like practicing on your own, I have a bunch of free classes on my website, albinarepeat.com. I also said that this is the time for you to start that rent abatement conversation with your landlord, because this situation, coronavirus, is force majeure, is global pandemic, and the landlord, the probability that your landlord will waive your rent or push it down the road is very likely. So start that negotiation now. What I'm also saying, that most likely you will have to shut down your studio in the days and weeks to come. So be prepared for that mentally, and in the reality, start creating content for your community. Link it up with your online Mind Body Online. I will send those instructions in the email immediately after this call. So get all the logistics set up, start recording the content, start uploading into Mind Body, start uploading it, not Mind Body, YouTube, and from YouTube, you can make it unlisted, take the link and drop it into your website. You can do that. You can start setting up newsletters and draft communication to your community in general, and also start drafting communication to your team, because it's important and the timeliness of it is important. Another possibility that you can do is fundraising to help out your teachers and even help out yourself to cover your expenses. You will be surprised how many people will be willing to help you if you transparently and openly speak about, how this coronavirus is affecting your business, and it will affect it. It will affect your business. In a sneakily way, I have a lot of y'all's mind body access. So this morning I looked into your attendance, and all of you got a dip in your attendance since even earlier in the week. So that dip in attendance my prediction that it'll probably continue. And like I said, you'll most likely have to shut down your studios. That's it. Stay strong, lean on that power bigger than us. We are spiritual entrepreneurs. We're the light workers. Ask for help, surrender, don't freak out, ground down, use all the tools that you have in your arsenal: meditation, yoga practice, focusing on the positive things, and stay strong. If you have any questions, again, drop me those questions in the chat windows or email me, and I'm happy to answer your questions, your concerns, and support you in any way that I can. Oh, thank you, Christine. Christine said, you two are a dream team. You are a true leader. Thank you. And again, if there are any legal questions, Roger, my husband, is a lawyer. We led Yoga One, the community of 7 yoga studios, a retreat center, juice bar, together. So if there are any legal questions, I'm speaking on behalf of my husband, but I'm sure he'll be happy to help you in any way that he can, even like maybe to draft a letter to your landlord. He can make himself available to help you with that. And if I think of anything else as the situation develops, I'm going to communicate that to you via email and things like that. So I love you. Stay strong. Everything will be fine. I'm leaning into that divine help that I know that is always with me. Bye, guys.